Greetings, fellow seekers of truth, wisdom, and light. This is Reverend Eliot coming to you live from the city of New York, where summer finally showed up. It deigned to make an appearance. Today, the temperature hit 82. It has been in the 50s for the last few days, believe it or not. That global cooling is such a problem. Like they said in the 70s, that global cooling was going to be the problem, and I didn't believe them, but I guess they were right. So, today it's summer. Summertime finally made it. And my creative juices are flowing. I've added some changes to my website, the one Mojo Brothers Books, and mojoacademy.org, and I'm going to be releasing some new products. And I finally tweaked, I told you about this last week, I gave you a preview. I finally tweaked my new shaving soap for the 5% of men who shave this way. I mean, come here, look at this thing. That is a beauty. That is a beauty. It is thicker than before. It's clear, it's crystal clear, and it gives great foam. There's no artificial foaming agents. A lot of these things use bentonite of clay, which is, it's not necessary. It's all in the shaving brush that'll do that. So if you're interested in that, just drop down to mojoacademy.org and see what's cooking on that page for the Mojo Brothers shaving soap. I like it. I like it an awful lot, and that's the only reason I made it, was so that I would have a soap that I like, because I don't like soaps that are filled with scent. This has no specific scent to it. I don't like shaving soaps that are expensive because they don't need to be. So I was selling the previous version for $6.99, but this one is so much easier to make that I'm charging $4.99 for it, because it's there's no problem at all doing it. So $4.99 is about I mean, that's what you should pay for a shaving soap. And this comes in a nice little tin. And I think if you like shaving soaps, I think you'll like this one. So anyway, that is the non-occult portion of the program. It's sort of like the alchemy in me, the alchemist. I just like making things in the lab, which of course in this case is my kitchen. But I make incense, I make oils, and this is just a natural outgrowth of that. So it's good to be back. What is it now? 3 weeks in a row, maybe a month? I'm shocked. I can't believe that I'm doing this. Uh, but the doctors have really patched me up well today. I mean, I spoke to some of them today, because I see doctors every other day practically, and that's not an exaggeration. And they sure are. They're making me feel like Lazarus. I mean, they brought me back from the dead, and here I am, so that I can spend time with you every Wednesday at 11 Eastern, 10 Central, 9 Mountain, and 8 Pacific. That's how I tell time now. I'm so hooked on that from this show that if somebody stopped me in the street and said, "Okay, excuse me, do you have the time?" I look at my watch and I'll say, "Oh, it's 3:30, 2:30 Central, and just 1:30 Mountain, and 12:30 Eastern, Western." So that's what I'm used to. But those are habits, right? We can change those things. What can I, what do I have that's new aside from soap? Which is, I'm going to be releasing another book shortly. I'm working on that again. It's an old book again. That's what I like doing, is finding old neglected books, and I'm talking about the early 20th century magical books, occult books, which I then restore and release them. I've been shipping out things. I've shipped out some of my my talking boards, the custom made talking boards. Boy, if you like Ouija boards, although I can't call them that because that's a trade name, so I use the generic term talking board. Go over to Magic. No, Mojo. That's at the books thing, mojoacademy.org, and take a look at the thing for making a custom Ouija board, talking board. Remember, I don't want to be sued by Parker Brothers, but it's well, what would they get from me, right? The I can make a talking board with any image on it that you want, anything you supply. If there's something there of somebody you want to remember who has passed away and you want to use the board to contact them, I'll put them on a board for you, 8.5 by 11 laminated with a planchette. So check that out. That's just one of the things. I'm mentioning this because I like making things. In case you haven't noticed, I just enjoy making things. Like, let's see, I have one here, something that I do. This is something I've talked about. This is the ritual timing calculator. It's a device that esoteric workers can use to find the right time, day, hour, everything to do a magical ritual. It saves you a lot of calculations. It's an easy thing to use, comes with a chart and instructions, and you can do your magic work at the most propitious time. So, we're all shuffled up now. I don't want to spend too much time talking because the longer I stay away from the show, the more I babble when I get back. And I think I did a healthy amount of babbling for the last few weeks. So I'd like to get right to the callers as soon as we can. I'm waiting to see if there's somebody ready to get thrown to the lions first. But in any case, if you want to know more about what I do and what I can do for you, you can always contact me, first of all, at Ask Tarot, ASKTAROT at earthlink.net. You can go to my main site, which is Magic, Magick -works.com. There's over 100 pages there with fascinating things there. There's books there, there's articles there, there's things to download, there's movies, there's free stuff all over the place. I think you'll enjoy it. And I've gotten a lot of fine compliments on that website, and it's one of the things I enjoy doing. And sometimes I look there and I'll see that maybe like this, it'll have had maybe 3 visitors that day, which, that's not a lot, but I see that they went to like 35 pages, because that's the name of the game, is to get people to stay at your site, right? That's what they call sticky stuff. But I do it not to keep you there, but I do it because I find it interesting, and if I find it interesting, I'm hoping that you too will find it interesting. So let's see, what else is there? We're coming. We had fireworks here in New York today. Boy, that was wonderful. I was wondering what that was about. They were blowing fireworks over Central Park in order to celebrate what? A concert. New York Philharmonic in Central Park. Or is that just to scare the muggers away, that they blow those fireworks up at the end of the show, just to make the place light so that nobody will hit you over the head and take your Chablis and run away with it? But New York's a very interesting town. I've lived here all my life, and when I've traveled, I've met New Yorkers wherever I go. When I meet people who aren't New Yorkers, they ask me the strangest questions. Like, one year I was camping. Believe it or not, I used to go hiking and camping along the what is that trail? The Appalachian Trail, and I stopped in Pittsfield, Massachusetts one time with some people, and the locals there were very friendly, but they kept asking, "Oh, you're from New York? You know Larry?" Well, there may be one Larry in your town, but in this one, there's a few million probably. I'm trying to think how many Larrys I've known in my life, and it goes from Larry, a union lawyer I went to grade school with, to Larry David, to all kinds of people. There was a Larry who once accused me of being a crook, and boy, did that aggravate me. And well, I took care of that. That was New York is a very suspicious town. I once entered a wine store with a very baggy coat, and I was looking around. And when I left, they accused me of sticking something into the coat and stealing it. And they demanded that I let them search me, and of course I said, "Sure, you can search me, but what will I get if you are wrong?" And they wouldn't do it. So they finally called a policeman over, and the policeman said that I had every right to refuse it. And I said, "I'm not refusing it. I'm just saying, if they're wrong, what will they give me? I want something for my time and effort," and they just threw me out. Well, of course, I didn't steal anything, but, that's, that's very strange. I was once thrown out of a restaurant because the woman I was with was insane and doing weird stuff. And then they threw us right out. And when we were outside, a half a block away, the guy came chasing us and said, "You didn't pay." And I said, "Why should we pay? You threw us out." There you go. They called the cops, of course, and the police said, "He's right. If you threw him out, he doesn't have to pay you." So there you go. Those are my interesting stories of the past. If you are interested at all in even a glimmer about my life and my past, go over to magic-works.com, Magick-works.com, and click the blog there, click my blog, click on that and take a look at the new blog post I've got up there. It's called My Life Story, which you'll see is a pun, but you'll notice that when you see it. And it's an interesting little story, something that happened, something amusing that happened, something embarrassing that happened to my parents. You might want to, you might find it, you might get a chuckle or two out of that. So here we are. We're back now. It's summer, and I've got the cards all shuffled. I'm ready to go. Let's go right to the first call. That would be Diamond in Houston, Texas. Hi, Diamond in Houston. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good.
Well, maybe I can make that a little better. What can I look at for you?
Um, I don't know. To be honest, I just would like an overall
Okay, well, let me shuffle the cards
reading.
and see what they tell me, okay? And
Mm-hmm.
you tell me if I'm talking through my hat, which is right over there. I don't have it on me right now.
Okay.
Well, this is an interesting card. I don't get this very often. It's the Hanged Man. That's a person who will sacrifice something to get something better. And are you that kind of person who will make sacrifices to get something better down the road?
Yes.
Okay, well, there you go. The Ace of Cups tells me that emotion is very important in your life. This is there are things that are this major the court cards and the suits of cards there are cups, swords, coins, and wands, and each one has a specific realm of life that it covers. And the Ace of Cups tells me that something new may be coming into your life in terms of emotional and happiness. And sometimes that indicates new romance, or if you're in a relationship with somebody, it'll reach a new level. Is that something you're looking for, something you're hoping for?
Yes.
Okay, good, because according to this card, which is the Six of Rods, that's a card of success. So you're going to get that. Now, here's another one. Now, this is very good. This is the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords and the Ace of Cups will go together here because swords are mental activity. Intellectually, you're growing, you're changing. This is a new beginning for you in the way you see the world. The way you see life is changing and growing, and that is also adding to the emotional factors in your life that are growing. So I think that is going to be very good for you. Now, let me ask you this. This is might be a difficult question. Have you had something very sad happen to you lately?
I wouldn't say very sad, but I took a major loss as far as moving. I moved,
Mhm.
and while in the process of moving, I became homeless, even though I wasn't homeless, if that
Oh,
makes sense.
well, because I see that
And yeah,
there was something that was very sad. Something very might not be the word, but truly sad. Something sad happened to you and that upset you. Okay, that's the Nine of Swords there. But let me tell you what's coming next, which is this card, which is a card about fulfillment and getting things and emotional well-being. That's the Ace of Cups again, but grown. The person there is nice and plump and smiling because the person in this card has the things that she wants in life and is enjoying it and knows how to enjoy the good things in life, and good things are coming to that person. So I think that this period of sadness represented by the Nine of Swords is going to be ending for you. Okay.
hmm,
Now, if you, I get the feeling from this card here, the Two of Swords, that things are kind of stuck for you. They're not moving one way or the other. Is that what's happening with you right now?
kind of. Yeah.
Well, that won't last because what again I've got here is the Queen of Cups. See, there's a lot of cups here. That's so you're doing well emotionally. The Queen of Cups shows me that emotionally you're in charge of what of your life, and there's relating to the story about moving, this card is about a happy home and enjoyment and fulfillment. So I think
Yes.
things are working out for you. Things they may not look it now, but what I'm seeing in these cards is that things are going to be getting better for you shortly. Okay.
Yes.
Is there anything else you want to look at?
I want to look at like um me having a child.
Having a house?
Child.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what this card is about. This Four of Rods, about a happy home and a family and all. Oh, that's there. That's what that is. Yes. So if that's the reason for some sadness, I don't. I see that coming to an end. There's definitely that is in your future. Let me just shuffle this up and cut them and see what we get. How's that?
Okay.
Okay, here's the Wheel of Fortune. That means that things are going to be changing in your life. Strength shows that you're going to have the strength to deal with this stuff. Four of Swords means that you'd probably benefit from a bit of a break, you know. But the Two of Cups is about the appearance of romance and a new relationship, like I said, or a new level in a relationship. So yes, this is the second time we've gotten confirmation in that way. So yeah, this is going to work out well for you. Okay, it's. I think from these
Okay.
cards that the bad time is over. How's that?
Okay. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thanks for calling. Bye bye now. You know, it's funny how these cards can do that, and how many years have I been doing this? Gosh, you know, my first glimmer of tarot was in the 70s. I write about that at magic-works.com. I met a guy named Earl Scott, who, if you look him up at the Internet Broadway database, you will find that he has the single most, well, most is wrong, unique. There's no such thing as most unique. There's unique and not unique. He has the he has a unique, why do I need qualifiers for that? He has a unique listing in all of the Broadway theater over at the Internet Broadway database. I won't tell you what it is, but he's the first person I ever saw reading cards. Okay. Take a look at the website, magic-works.com, and see the page about how I got into tarot, or just look up Earl Scott. But I have a picture of him there and I tell the story there. So it's I miss the guy. He was an eccentric. New York was riddled with eccentrics in the 70s, and you know, it almost reminds me of the New York that's portrayed in the 50s in Next Stop Greenwich Village. Kayla in Virginia is next. Hi, Kayla. You're on with Reverend Eliot.
Hello.
Hi, how are you tonight?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing well. What can I look at for you?
Just general.
Okay, I'll cut the deck and see what we get. Well, this is an interesting card, the Ten of Rods. That's a warning not to be overburdened. Are you working hard or harder than you want to, or are you feeling overburdened?
Um, my father passed away, so like I've been
Oh,
dealing with that.
yeah, well, that'll weigh you down, that's for sure. Um, that was a very difficult time with your father, was it?
Yeah.
Because I've got a card here that's interesting in regards to what you said, which is this is the Ten of Swords. I'm sorry, the Ten of Swords. And that is it looks ugly, but it's not. It means that the worst has happened. Life has thrown its worst at you, and you're still here, and you survived, and you're still going strong. So that's a good sign. So that says that you're going to be okay. All right, that's the main thing.
Okay.
Uh, now, lest I forget to mention this to you, I will light a candle at the after the show to send positive energy to your father's spirit. How's that?
Thank you.
My pleasure. And let's see, what else do we have here? So yeah, that was a very hard time for you, is what I'm seeing here. And well, health and healing and growth and happiness, that's the sun. So you're on your way to feeling a lot better. You're moving to a better place in your life, not necessarily literally getting a new place to live in, but you're taking yourself from where the kind of person you are to what you want to be. That's the important thing. That's the Six of Swords and the Empress. I'm sorry, I got to get new glasses. The high, or at least wear the ones I've got. The High Priestess is there, which tells me that you're a person with great spiritual power and belief. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's excellent. Now you're going to like this card. It's the single most positive card in the deck. If anything bad had been here, this would get rid of it. This is the Fool. It's called, and the Romany people believe that that means the beloved of God. That means you have great spiritual protection. That's why you're the high priestess. You have spiritual protection. You can take power from the spiritual realm and use it here. So that doesn't mean that life is going to be all peaches and cream, because we always have problems. That's the nature of life. But you're going to be able to handle them well, get through them, and come out just fine. Okay.
Okay.
Is there anything else you want to look at?
No, I just needed the general guidance.
Well, here's another card that's similar to the Six of Swords. Here, this is the Eight of Cups. It's a person walking away from things in life that do not work for her and going to something that does. And that's where I see you headed. Is you things that you don't care for in your life, you're going to do something about it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
I mean, a lot of us say we are, but I see you doing it. So I will
Absolutely.
I will include you also with a candle so that we can send positive energy your way. How is that?
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you for calling in. Bye bye now. And let's just shuffle them up. You were coming up to the half-hour mark, which we usually get to around this point, meaning about a half hour into the show, I guess. But I mean, after a couple of calls, but usually we get there faster because I babble. Oh, I babble at the beginning of the show because I get lonely for you guys. I miss you. I miss you all when I'm away. I've said it before. I'll say it again. That could sum up my life. That's why I don't get invited to parties. The the last year I missed most of the shows. If not, I only did 15 shows out of 52 weeks. I knew I was sick, but it didn't dawn on me until my physician called and told me I better get to the ER instantly, uh, because I was dying. I mean, a blood test showed that I was dying. There are no two ways about that. And I ran into on the street today. I ran into one of my doctors. I ran into him a week or two ago too. But I have an appointment I go to 5 city blocks from here, and I walked it the first time before they treated me. I wanted to see what kind of condition I was in, and it took me a half an hour to go 5 blocks, which was like 6 minutes a block. Now it takes me no time. It's just a quick walk. Now I'm walking at the good old speed of about 4 miles an hour, the average strolling speed. I can go faster than that. I'm stronger. I just carried a 15-pound package up 4 flights of stairs without any problem. And when before I could barely carry me up the stairs. So they're working on me. If any of you are wondering if old Reverend Eliot is about to hand in his dinner pail, not anytime soon. Now, of course, that would be an interesting thing to say, well, the last words he said on Ask on Radio were not anytime soon. And then pow, but no, no. I don't like this famous last words department, that, that kind of thing. I'm not superstitious, which of course somebody always says just before they recite some kind of idiotic superstition. But why tempt fate, right? Of course, you can't outrun your fate. I think what I'll do, I think I will put up, maybe I have it at my Twitter feed. Maybe I'll put it on the website. There's that wonderful moment in a movie called Targets, which is not a very cheerful movie. It was Peter Bogdanovich's first actual movie, and it was written by the great Samuel Fuller without credit, which is why he names his character in the movie Bogdanovich. He names the character Sammy, who's a movie director. But Boris Karloff is in it. It's the last movie of substance that Boris Karloff did, and notably, it's one of the few movies he did where he showed his actual skin color, which was quite dark. They always lightened him up for the movies, and people would meet him and be surprised, and he would joke about it and say, "Yeah, too much time in the sun. I need to get back to work." But there's one take of him telling the story about the appointment in Samara, which is bone chilling. And I think I'll put that at my webpage at magic-works.com. What do you think? Should I do that? Let me know. You can contact me at asktarot@earthlink.net. But I will definitely, well, think about that anyway, right? But that the whole point. Whenever I hear some people talk about I'm gonna take hold of my destiny and take care of my own fate, you can't do that. You never know what life has in store for you. And I gave up planning years ago. I threw the oars overboard in my 20s, and I saw too many people who were ambitious and they missed so many opportunities because they were focused on something else that they never attained. Never, ever, ever, ever did. Some of them did and killed themselves. That's the other shocking thing I learned in life. So I knew many people who would say to me, I just want to be rich and famous. And I would say, well, you might want to rethink that, because that just means you're going to have a lot of money and everybody's going to know who you are, but you're still going to be the same you. It's not going to change you really. And of course, uh, they killed themselves, more than I can count. And it's very depressing to even consider. So why did I even bring that up? Right? Because we can't outrun our fate, you know. If you think you're going to avoid death, you can postpone it. You know, that's why my favorite thing in the news is say, like, don't eat fried foods. It increases your risk of dying. Pal, the risk of dying is 100% for all of us. So let's not get carried away with that risk of dying stuff. Anyway, that's that's the big news shock for tonight, right? that, like the senator said, we're all going to die. Boy, did she get in trouble for saying that. I suppose saying to an audience we're all going to die is not really an answer when they want to discuss healthcare with you, but there you go, right? Let's go to the next reading, because you see, I'm babbling again. Chris in Kansas City, Missouri is next. Hi, Chris, you're on with Reverend Eliot.
Hi, Eliot. It's Chris again, and so
Hi.
this will be my third time communicating with you, and it was 2 weeks ago again, and we had a
Yeah.
good reading and everything, and I even re-listened to it today.
I did a reading for you by email too, didn't I?
Yes, that was
Yeah.
my first reach out, because I had found you guys on Spotify and you on Spotify first, and you were so kind, and it was just a reconfirmation of that one. But then, I told you I'm having, well, actually things have transpired since then. So I need to be out by the 10th of where I was staying with this family. And for whatever reason, the few people that I was able to reach out to that could offer even rides, offered or found people to help me start moving. I was able to secure a storage unit, all that stuff. I've got all my things ready to go, but nowhere to go just yet. And I'm not kidding you. I've been waiting on this call tonight. And I had a new casino that I had downloaded, and I got I think it was like $20 worth of free bonus whatever's, and I am literally up to almost $900 when the phone rang for you.
There you go.
So but also I'm just like, I'm still in, like, I want to trust that I've been assured that I am supposed to sit this one out. I've done all that I can do, but I'm like, there's a time, like, everything is gonna fall up by the 10th anyways with the court stuff. But anyways, I don't know where we're going yet.
Well, what
it's
would
so
you
hard to
like to look
find
at?
like a room for rent. I want to just find out if we're gonna secure like a place that I can stay until my mom's probate estate stuff finalizes for my inheritance.
Okay.
So that I'm hoping that, and I reached out to a buyer that had, like, I have two things of extreme value, but so much that it had overwhelmed me to try
Okay.
until now. And
There are some cards here that I just got, which are very good. First is the Eight of Rods. That's about something that's in the works, that's almost coming. It's almost here. Okay, so what you're waiting for is around the corner, so to speak. The Tower struck by
right,
lightning is here, which means your situation can change almost instantly. I mean, there's
it
going to
has
be
always.
a,
That's nothing new.
and here and now the question is, will it change for the better? And the answer is yes, because I had this card earlier for somebody. It's the Four of Rods. That's about happiness and a home and security, and that's all there. So
Okay.
those cards fit exactly to what you're saying. So what I guess it's hard to be patient, especially when you have to be passive about something and just wait for it to happen. But from what I remember, you're doing everything you can, right?
Right,
So you
absolutely,
can't
but
beat
I'm
yourself up
still
over that.
relying on the powers that be because I have no actual like
Mhm.
earthbound support left, or the
Yeah.
people that I've always loved I lost, and then the people
Well,
that
that's
took
going to
me
be
in
changing
I
from
grew
what
to
I
love.
see.
I need right. I just
What I
and then
see
that
in
was
these cards is
heartbreaking
that that's
because
going
I
to be
felt like they
changing.
didn't want
Yeah.
I don't want to lose them, but I don't want to lose I don't want it's me and my puppy, and he knew and has known something's up, and I can just tell how sad he is, and I'm trying to
Oh,
reassure
they
him no
know.
matter what, this is never going to happen again, and we're going to be so happy. But again, I have no clue where we're going. I just know that I'm going to be out of here because it's not going to be their burden
Well,
anymore, and I
I
know that
can't
it's
I
going to
I
work
can't
out.
give
But
you specifics. I can't give you specifics, but I can give you this a guidance like this. This is a card that I've had before for people today, which is it shows that you're moving from rough waters to calm waters. That's the first image on the card. So that's good. It means that you're taking action to fix your situation and get what you want. So you can't really ask for more than that right now. The only thing you can do is stress over maybes and might be's, and then know that's easier said than
I
done. But
know,
but
and
don't do that.
that's who I am by nature. I have always been a
Mm.
warrior, so to try to be anything else when I lost my physical abilities to help myself, and then my well being, my ability to take care of my well being and shelter and things like that has been my biggest fear, and then it's happening again. But also, I know no matter what, it's all going to come together. But I also am like, how do I not just like I'm spinning in my own head of
Well,
just sadness,
this
I
is
think, more
this
than
is the
anything
Hanged
of
Man.
loss again.
This is the Hanged Man. That's a card that I rarely get, but this is now the second time
I
tonight
got it
I've
last
gotten it.
week, but
Oh,
I
there
know
you
what it
go.
means because it's
And
not bad. It just means that I have a smile on my face while I'm spinning upside down in my
yeah, but you're
reality,
suffering.
while
It's
others.
about it's about enduring suffering also. But the thing is, everyone does this. I see when you turn this card upside down, the person's dancing. So it's a good sign that you're going to work through this. Okay, I'm seeing. Here you go again. I had this card for you once before. Justice, right? I had that card.
Yes, that's where we're at right now. Justice,
Yeah.
judgment, and the wheel of fortune and
Yep,
strength.
there you go. So you're going to get that justice. It's going to happen.
And that's on
the
several levels right now, and it's all coming in the next three
I
weeks.
can only advise you to try to de-stress, try to use some meditation, relax. But
I wish I
w-
could meditate,
yeah,
but
I
I'm
know.
sitting outside right now. I decided to paint my toenails for the first time in
When
probably
in the
6
when
months.
in the world when in the world did anybody tell somebody to calm down and it worked, right? So you know what I mean.
Right, right, right.
So so I'm
I
not
heard you
I'm not
say that
gonna.
earlier on when I
Yeah.
was listening to you give someone else a reading. Yeah, no, I get it, and no one extraordinary in this world ever did anything ordinary. I get all those things, and I also know that I was built too strong, but not. My favorite quote is from the one of the Batman Returns or whatever, and he
Mm.
says, "You're not the hero that they deserve or the one they ask for, but you're the one that they need because you
Hmm.
can endure."
Well,
And
here
although
is
I go by Wonder Woman, but I believe that like I was
I
built
want you to consider
to
these
house.
cards. I want you to
Okay,
consider these cards. It's the Two of Swords and
okay,
and the Ten of Coins, and I'll tell you how they go together. In your case, the Two
okay,
of Swords means nothing's happening now. The Two of Swords means things are at a standstill. The Ten of Coins is a happy home, lineage, parents,
okay.
grandparents, ancestors,
Awesome.
grandchildren come, it's everything. Everything you want, everything a person wants is in the Ten of Coins, including money and
Okay.
family and a home. But it's just not happening right now. So it's freaking you out. So the best thing you
Oh, of
can do is
course, because I've
keep that
lost
in mind.
everything a year ago. Only to what
I
little
know.
I had
I
left,
know.
just my security and safety right now. Like I'm in, and what people that while I was trying to get out of my mother's, the people that I literally gave things of extreme value because I couldn't just sell it and no one would have given me money. I gave it to people that
Yeah.
needed it, but they still found ways to somehow take more from me in ways that it was so cruel. And then the things that I've been through that I just trying to finalize my probation, and the lady I did over 55 hours of community service with
Yeah.
exploited at least 30 of those hours to clean her nasty
Well,
daughter's house,
again,
and now I'm facing false charges in court. And
things are
she
looking
won't
up for
verify
you.
my stuff.
Things are still looking up. Nevertheless, you got the star, which is a card of hope and optimism, followed by the Ten of
Right,
Cups. And the Ten of Cups, again, is another one about a happy home and a good family life and all the wonderful things that people need societally. So, I mean, I can't tell you not to dwell on this because how could you not? I mean, I've
right,
been there before too. I've
right.
been in
I
big
just
trouble, and you can't let it go at times. But I'm seeing good things coming your way. That's all I can tell you. The temperance card is here. The temperance, didn't I have that for you once before? Temperance. That's
no, but
about,
it's a card that just shows that I've never had patience, but I've got to learn it or I'm going to
yeah.
fail.
And it's also about balance being restored in your life. Right now, there's no balance in your life. And that's what you need, and that's what's coming. You're going to get it. You'll get the balance. So, please hang in there, okay? I
Oh, I am checking out if it was ever an option. It's never been during this
good.
time, especially. Like, why would I endure all of that I have and lost all that I knew and loved, only to still be here? And it was
Yeah, I
heartbreaking, but
mean,
also I'm still
I
here.
and I'm also I'm not a big fan of people who say everything is happening for a reason. Other
Well,
than, well,
no,
the universe hates me would be one reason, but no, I don't, I'm not into that. That's one of the worst things you can tell somebody going through trouble is that you're going through this for a reason and you're going to come out a better person. No, you might be going for no damn reason at all. And the fact that you learn from it and come out better isn't worth it. But I really, I'll make sure I keep some candles going for you and keep in touch, okay? You have my email in case you don't get through here again, and we'll talk again, all right?
brainstorming. I've been
Hmm?
brainstorming things I want to talk to you about, but in the right where I can formulate actual full thoughts and sentences. So
Okay, do that. So just send me whatever you want as long as you want, okay? Make it an attachment if you want, whatever, okay?
I also want to send you some stuff like the crystal powder and things that I've been making. So I
Well, later on we'll get to that, okay?
absolutely, and I appreciate you again, what you are, who you are, what your words and what you've done, just personally for me. But I know what you do for everyone that you communicate with because it's important and
Well,
it's
thank you for
it's
your kind
vital
words.
to people like me.
I'll hear from you again, I'm sure. Take care now, okay? Okay, now that's Chris in Kansas City. By the way, Chris with a K, Kris. I could tell you a story about a person I met named Chris like that. Not like this person, just with the name like that. Boy, this was a weird one. An actor friend of mine and I were going to a very famous little celebrity hangout type bar here in New York City, and this woman named Chris had just blown into New York City and attached herself to us. She'd never been in New York before, and she wanted to go someplace where famous people were, and we brought her there just on a lark. And there at the bar was the actor William Hurt. And she said, "Oh, I loved him. Oh, I loved him. I don't even remember the name of the movie. Was it the? No, I can't remember. It was about it was one of those yuppie things about a bunch of guys who get together and they cook dinner. But and she said he was so wonderful in that. He was such a wonderful person, and I want to go talk to him. And I warned her. I said, "Don't do that. Don't if you're going to talk to him as the actor William Hurt. The Big Chill. That's the one she saw him in, and she said she loved him based on the character. And I said, no, 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 don't approach him that way. Approach him as a human being whose work you liked. And she said, okay, I'll do that. That's good advice. And she went right over to the bar and said, I loved you in The Big Chill. You were such a warm and caring. And the guy started screaming at her. And I walked over to her to try to get her out of that one. And he looked at me and he screamed words I'll never forget before he started strangling me. William Hurt. He screamed out the words, "John Hurd, I'm going to kill you," which I thought was kind of amusing because I never thought that I looked like the actor John Hurd, although at the time I had been going out with one of his ex-girlfriends who, when we met, she slapped me because she thought I was him. He's a wonderful guy, right? I mean, this is New York. I don't know why people want to come here, but that's what happened. So he started strangling me, and I brought my arms up like that, and I knocked his hands away from my throat, something I'd seen in countless movies and was dying to try one day. But I wasn't particularly willing to be strangled in order to test it out. And I said, look at me. I am not John Hurd. Just stop that. And that's life in the big city, right? Cassia in Saskatchewan is next. Hi, you're on with Reverend Eliot.
Hello,
Hi, did I get your name right?
Cassia. Yep.
Good. What can I look at for you tonight?
Um. So what could I ask?
Whatever you want.
Is there anybody coming through? Because I recently lost my mama, who raised me.
Oh, that's terrible. Let me see what I can do. There's a series of cards that I get when somebody asks me to do that. Obviously the death card and oh goodness, you're not look, see the death card. So, and over the years, I used to say to people, if I had a video camera on me, you could see and you'd believe these cards. But then I realized people are just going to say you know card tricks, which I don't. But yeah, so there's the death card. So now here's the High Priestess card. That is a card that about seeing behind the veil, and that's what you want to do is to pierce the veil between this world and the next one. We're on very good territory here. This card I almost always get for afterlife readings. It's the Nine of Swords. Great sadness. That goes without saying, wouldn't you think? Then here's now this is the interesting one, is the Ten of Swords. Did she have a very difficult time at the end?
Well, she couldn't really talk.
Because
She was in a coma.
Well, this is a card about somebody really suffering terribly, and then the suffering is over. So that's why I asked that, and this, that the message here. I get that a lot for these readings, and the beginning of that message is the meaning of that message is that I'm beginning to get better. The spirit is beginning to heal. Here's the Page of Cups, and that is the card about emotion, the appearance of emotions. Emotionally, the spirit is growing because there was great sadness on both ends there. And this is, and then I'll explain why this is happening. And here's the Ten of Cups, which is a card of happiness and joy and growth. I always get that when I do these readings. They start out really very sad and they end up happy because the message from the person on the other side of the veil is, I know you're sad, but I'm doing well. Now, I understand that they know that you're going to be sad and you can't just suddenly be happy, but they want you to know that they're not suffering. That's what the Ten of Swords is. And there's emotional growth. Here's the Ace of Cups too. This person is growing now. The spirit is growing emotionally and is evolving. So that's the message that I'm getting for you. How's that?
That's really good.
Okay. Is there anything else?
Also wanted to. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I also wanted to ask for some guidance because one of my closest friends during this hard time just stopped, is giving me a hard time now, and so is her family. It's really hard because I'm dating her cousin.
Whoa.
And I know that how much I've been through, yet they still treat me.
Well, yeah.
They aren't treating me the best.
I've been there, that's for sure. Well, what I'm seeing here is this, is this a new relationship?
Well, we started talking in November.
Okay, so what I've got here is the Two of Cups. That signifies, in this case, it would be your relationship is going to reach a new level. You know, it'll reach a new another level. There's indications of marriage here in these cards, by the way, with the Hierophant, which is the religious authority. Uh, uh, th- I can only tell you, like, here is the Fool card, which I rarely get, but I got once before tonight, which is that you have spiritual protection. You're a very spiritual person. Something spiritual, an entity is watching out for you, taking care of you. So I don't think they're going to be able to hurt you in any way. It's just annoying. As I'm sure I don't have to tell you, but I'm seeing here the sun, health and healing and growth and happiness. I think you'll get through this fine. You'll work out a way of dealing with it. Okay.
Yeah. So right now, I feel really like I know who I am because I did go through a hard time. And
Mhm.
now I feel like I know myself spiritually
Yeah.
and that I can like put my head up high.
Well, that's good. That's good. And for what it's worth, I see I see money in your future, by the way. So I have the Page of Coins and the Ten of Coins, which they're very good cards in terms of money coming your way. So you're going to be doing very well financially, is what I see. You're going to have to, you're going to end up having to deal with the emotional roller coaster they're putting you through. But I see that you can handle it. Okay.
Yeah. Today it was like super hard and I really wanted to like scream and cry. Then I talked to my cousin and she guided me through because she'd been through the same things. And I just thought, and I knew
Mhm.
that I'm better than that.
Yeah. Well, sometimes we
Because
just
I've
have to
been
go
through
into a
enough.
room alone and scream and cry. You know, that's, you know what I mean? It, it can get to
Yeah.
us. I think that, let me see, you know, I'm just seeing, yeah, you're feeling stuck because of this, but the star is here, which is a card of optimism and hope, which tells me that it's going to get better. Now that's probably because that the situation isn't itself may not get better, but you're going to make it better for you by handling it the way that works for you. You know, that's the best thing to do. That's how I see
Yeah.
it.
Um, so like is there a card to read like how this
Mhm.
person's gonna do? Like how is their actions gonna get like karma?
Oh, let's
Or
see
are they
what we
already
have
like
here. Well, let's see. Yeah, well, this is the tower struck by lightning or the Tower of God. This is about a sudden drastic change coming into somebody's life that upends everything and changes whatever they do. So yeah, that sounds like karma to me. What do you think?
yeah.
I got to run. I'm up against the end of the show here. The clock has sabotaged me again, so I've got to run. I got to wind it up. But I'm always here, and I'm always available online at asktarot@earthlink.net. You can check out my website. This goes for everybody listening. Magic-works.com, magick-works.com, and there's a contact form there. So that's another way to find me. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Sorry to have to cut you off, but they're going to cut me off. So bye bye now. And that's it, folks. We've come to the end of another edition of Reverend Eliot shoots his mouth off for an hour. And hey, I'm still having fun. I've only been doing this for what 11 years, not counting last year where I barely did it. But yeah, I'd do this. I would do this several times a week if I could. But I think you'd probably end up being sick of me. That's for sure. So let me just tell you that again, the everything about me and what I do you can find at mojoacademy.org. Those are books and records and videos and shaving soap. And you can find me, the general magic site is magic-works.com. That's my big site, magick-works.com, with like over 100 pages there of interesting content. At least I find it interesting anyway. So that's why I put it there for you to find it interesting. And please be sure to tool around there. And now, one of the things that a lot of people don't know, because they assume this is just a plain old website, I actually set my websites up to be blogs. So they're unlike a regular website in one way. You can leave comments at each page. If you have something that you want to say about the page, leave a comment. You'll see the link down at the bottom of the page. Or to the side. There's always a way. Yeah, I set them up deliberately, the websites, as blogs for two reasons. One, so that I could facilitate getting comments, and two, that's the only thing I knew how to set up at the time. That's, I'd say it's 98% that too, but I've more than welcome commentary. Well, I've got to run now. I'm down to less than a minute, so let's just remember: who you are is the universe's gift to you. Who you become is your gift to the universe. Now ponder that, because you can make yourself. You can fashion yourself. You can make yourself into what you think you're meant to be. You could be a self-made person in that regard. I mean, I like I was saying earlier, I threw my ambition overboard long ago, and I found success in things that so many people were so mad at me for finding success at that I haven't heard from them since. I mean, I spent a few years as a ridiculously overpaid screenwriter, and I spent a few years, 20 years, running a newspaper. I mean, none of that stuff I ever set out to do, and yet there are people who scream about how they wish they could be screenwriters. Well, I don't know about that. So anyway, until next week at 11 Eastern, 10 Central, 9 Mountain, and 8 Pacific, this is Reverend Eliot saying goodbye now. See you then.